Hello, this is Chris Kobe with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching the Video Voters Guide. The League, in conjunction with MetroEast Community Media, are here to talk with candidates running for the May 2020 primary election. With me today is Jeff Reardon, running for State Representative, District 48, which generally covers much of Southeast Portland and the adjacent portion of Clackamas County. Welcome, Jeff.
Good morning, Chris. I'm so glad to be here this morning. And I actually am the state representative for District 48. I originally came from Kelso, Washington. I'm a Vietnam veteran, spent 3 years on a nuclear submarine, so I know how to get along with people. Combination of experience, I've taught high school for 16 years, worked for a high-tech company for 21 years. My wife and I have 4 daughters. They're all employed. And the reason I'm running for office is, again, I'm running for my 5th term, is had 2 main interests. I'm very concerned about higher education and in terms of student access and affordability. And I've also been very concerned about water and ensuring that for generations to come that we have ample water, it is clean water. And those are the main 2 reasons that I'm running.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Jeff. What challenges have been and will be created by the pandemic to the effective and efficient administration of Oregon state government, and how do you propose to meet those challenges?
Well, I think, Chris, that we're starting to really understand how fragile a lot of our systems have been already. I mean, we've had people that have been going hungry, relying on food banks. We have, especially our children, a lot of them going to school without food. We know we have way too many people living on the streets. We have people that can't afford homes. Our family, childcare systems have been way too expensive for working families. So we have that and any number of other things, not even getting into the environmental issues. All of these things that have been a challenge in really good times. And so all of this pressure of all of a sudden we're going to have a low income, so many people being put out of work, so many people needing health care, so many people that already lived 1 paycheck away from being on the streets, and this just makes it all worse. So I'm as a legislator right now, I wouldn't want to say a holding pattern, but we are kind of waiting. Now I'm talking to you on mid-April. And we are kind of waiting to see what the federal response is. We have working with the governor's office on a series of actions that she's able to take right now. But as a legislator, then I am anxiously awaiting to get back into a special session so that we can identify where are the gaps that need to be filled, where do we need legislative action. So that's the short-term view of it. A little bit longer term, I'm thinking when we do get back into regular session that I may need to change the committee assignments I'm asked to be on. I think that our entire budget is going to have to be under review. We're going to have to be prioritizing. So I'd already been looking at getting on the Full Ways and Means Committee, for example, where we really look at every program in the state and have to make some really tough calls. So I think for somebody with my experience in education, in business, having been in the legislature for 8 years, and I'm actually co-chair of the Natural Resources Ways and Means, so I understand the budgeting process, and I think that's how I could be of the greatest assistance as we face challenges that we've never seen before. So.
All right. Turning to another issue, traditionally the legislature has conducted the decennial redistricting process, which will occur next year. Are you comfortable with the current redistricting process? If not, how would you seek to change it?
That's really a great question. And especially in times like now where things are so polarized, as I like to think more polarized at the national level, but we saw that polarization being unable to complete our recent short session. So I think any system that favors one party or another when you're looking at the redistricting is a bad system. So I would love to see that change. I don't have a specific recommendation, but it's something that is a bipartisan commission that really looks at what's going to help us hear the voices of all the voters. So I think that could be done and should be done.
On another issue, what are your thoughts on cap and trade proposals intended to mitigate climate change? Are they a good idea or not, and why?
Well, Chris, this is cap and trade. It's really been near and dear to my heart. I was on the Energy Environment Committee for the first 2 terms of office. I've continued to be involved in natural resources and have a lot of concerns about our environment. So I am a supporter of anything that would help us reduce our emissions and our greenhouse gases. I have to tell you, I was really disappointed that Senate Bill 1530 did not pass. It was a reason for our short session failing to be completed. And the reason I'm disappointed is I think it became more of a political football rather than a serious conversation about what the issues are, because it addressed every issue that had come up, in my point of view. It should have passed. It would have gotten more money for transportation to the communities across the state. And there were 2 things in there that we really need to do, which is address forestry. Our forests need to be cleaned up to reduce threats of fire. There would have been money for that because of 1530. And also a lot of water projects. I mentioned my interest in water. So how do we pay for work that needs to be done in the forest? How do we improve our water systems? Senate Bill 1530 would have helped pay for that. And the fact that this bill, it already addressed things that some of the like the energy suppliers had already been doing, their low carbon fuels, all of those things, those were already given credit where credit was due. And we also had the regional reduction in gas, not a reduction in gas prices, but acknowledging the regional differences for fuel prices so that we weren't adversely affecting our rural communities. All of those things made it a really good, robust package. It should have passed, but like I said, it became a political symbol of rural versus urban. And we've just got to get by that. We have to become and get back to a state where we hear all voices listen to each other. And we need to be able to address this issue of climate change and the other issues that are before us right now. And we've got to do that together as a state.
Thank you, Jeff, for your participation. This has been the Video Voters Guide. The primary election is Tuesday, May 19. Be sure to inform yourself about the candidates and the ballot measure and exercise your right to vote. Thank you for watching.